All right, so here we are in 8.2. Then we'll go on to number 10. Try to finish. I'm going to try to finish 8.2 and 8.3 and maybe part of 8.4. We'll see. I always have these grandiose dreams, huh? All right. Let's see. All right. Did you guys make it through 8.1 okay? The homework for 8.1? Not too bad, hopefully. All right. Well, you stop me if you have questions. Table lists the cross classifications of marital status and sex for the adults chosen for 2006 General Social Survey, GSS. Use the letters given in the table. Find the number of respondents of each of the following, A through D. Okay. I don't have the other questions. So they want to know B overlap F. Maybe I better go back and answer. All right, so here's the question. Yeah, this is a little tricky one. All right, so basically they're giving us that big old table, and they want us to do different parts. I answered a couple of them. Let me explain now what it is I was doing there. B overlap F. So remember what the U turned over means. It means overlap. It means intersection of both categories. So the overlap is the intersection of both categories. Now they're saying B and F. Where's B? Let's make sure we understand this table. Let's do that first up. So married people go this way. So there's 1017 married males and 1125 married females. And then widowed, there's 52 widowed males, 297 widowed females. And divorced, separated, never married, etc. Good so far, what the table's talking about. And then when they say, find the B would be both those. Those are both in the B category, right? And they want me to take the overlap with B overlap F. So where's the F category? This is the F category, the females, huh? So what's the overlap then between the B and the F? Just the 297, huh? See how I came up with that? See how the 297 is the overlap of both categories? Does that make sense? So in other words, you could, yeah, it's overlap. And now how about part B? They want me to take C overlap with F union M. F union M. So let's go take a look at that one. All right, so what is F? Always start with the parentheses, huh? Remember on these we always start with the parentheses? What is F union M? That's all that, huh? Females united with males. It's all the females, all the males, all together. U means unite, right? U means unite all together. And then the U turned over means overlap of overlap or intersection. I think it's maybe easier to think that way. Overlap, intersection. Okay, so C, where's C? C is here. So I'm supposed to take C overlapped with the union of F and M. So it's going to be the 347 plus the 439, which comes out to be 786. Does that make sense how I got that? So I took the big box. The big box here is the females and males united. F unite M. Females and males united. And then overlap that with the C category. So they intersect. They overlap. They go over each other in 347 and 439. Add up to be 786. Good so far. Are we happy? See what I'm doing there? See how the big box is the uniting of females and males? and the divorced, the C box overlaps with that. And then part C is A union M. Let's try that one. A-U-M. A-U-M. So how do we do that? How do I not unite A and M? What is A? A is the married ones. There's A. Good so far, that's the A. And where's the M? All these are M, they're all the males. And am I just supposed to take the overlap? Did they say A overlap M? If they said overlap, I would just take the 1017, right? But they didn't say overlap. They said unite, which means what? What does unite mean? All of them together. Add it up. Yeah. The whole row and the, yeah, so this whole group, so it's going to be the 1017, the 52, the 347, the 73, the 504, and the 1125. Everything added up. I have no idea what that is. That'll have to be a calc. Oh, I guess they tell me it's 3118. Is the answer. Does that make sense how I did that? Because unite, whenever they have the U in the middle, that means unite them all together. Add them all together. Add them all up. Is that good? Questions on that one? And then last one. It looks like it's, what is that one? B complement, overlap D complement. We ready? Ready to move ahead? Everybody good with that one? All right. So now, okay, so we got to do B complement. Where is B complement? Well, here's B. So B complement is everything else. Remember, it means not? It means not B. So B complement would be this and all of this. That's all B complement, huh? That's all not B. Good so far? And then let's try D complement. What's D complement? Not D. So that would be everything above D and everything below D. Everything that's not D. So I've done that in the two different colors. I did everything that's not B and everything that's not D. And then what am I going to do from there? What am I supposed to take?
The overlap.
The overlap. Where does the purple circling overlap? What sections are circled by both? Right? What sections lie in the overlap of both? Well, this one, this one. Those two are in both circles. 347, 439. Those are in both a black circle and a purple circle. 1017 and 1125 sit in both circles. Right, because that's what overlap means, right? If you're in the overlap, you're in both circles. Does that make sense how we did that? So yeah, it's going to be the 1017 added to 1125 added to, what, 347 added to 439 added to 504, add 532. See how we came up with those 6? Are we good there? So that's a lot of adding, whatever that comes out to be. I don't want to waste time adding. So I'm going to move on. That was a long one. All right. So here we go. Okay. Circle A, circle B. So by the way, notice they don't tell me that I have to use Venn diagram on this one, but it will make it a lot easier to go ahead and do Venn diagram on this problem. So we've got A and we've got B, and it says use the union rule to answer the questions. Okay. Where should I start? It says, oh, the N means number. So the number in circle A is 11. So I can put an 11 there. Wrong. I hope we all know that's not right. Why? Isn't that what it's saying? Number in circle A is 11. I just put an 11 in circle A. Why is that not right? Yeah, it means this plus this together. Together, those have to be 11, right? Not just 11 in that outer section. So maybe, right? That makes sense on there. It's got to be 11 total in A. And A has two parts to it. So I don't know about that. How about B? Don't know about that either. Start right here. Start with the intersection, huh? That means A intersect B. A intersect B is 7. That I can put. So the intersection is 7. Does that make sense so far? The overlap is 7. And now let me backtrack. Let's backtrack. And it says, okay, now the number in A is 11. So what do I know about the rest of circle A? 4. Now there's 11 total in circle A, right? That makes sense? And now how about the B is 16? So this has to be what, 9? 9 plus 7 is 16. And then, all right, now what's their question? What's the number in A union B, right? The number in A united with B. What does unite mean again? Combine them all together. 4 plus 7 plus 9, which is 20. That makes sense? We good? All right. All right. So, yeah, I'll just redraw it right here a little bigger. So we have A, B. Yeah, see what you can do. See what you can do. Give you a second on this one. All right, so the number in the intersection is 3, right? That goes in the overlap. The overlap. All right. We can't do this yet. Let's go on to the number in A. The number in A is 19. So this must be 16 to make 19 total in circle A. Good so far? Now, they're telling me the number in the union is 36. Remember, union is this plus this plus this, right? Because that's all of A united with all of B, right? That's what union means. Combine them all together, A and B. So call this X if it helps or whatever you want to call it. Call it X. And go 16 plus 3 plus X must be 36. See what I'm doing there? Those 3 must add up to be the union. Solve for X. What's that? 19 plus X is 36. A little math equation here. A little algebra. You guys remember algebra? Did you like algebra? What's that? 17? Yeah, 17. So X must be 17. And that's what they want. Well, careful. Let me be a little careful. They're asking for the number in B. Is the answer 17? Not quite, huh? What's B? B is, all of this is B, huh? So what's the number in B? 3 plus 17. 20. The number in B is 20. Does that make sense how we figured that out? Questions on that one? All right, let's keep moving. All right, so we have A, we have B. All right, see what you can do on this one. Oh, they put an X, Y, and Z, didn't they? So I'll put that in X, Y, Z. Start with that overlap in the middle there. Okay, so what's it says the overlap is 13, right? Right there in the middle. The overlap is 13. So far, so good. And then it says A is 19. All of circle A together takes 19, so this must be 6 out here, right? So 6 and 13 make 19. And then all of B is 16, so this must be 3. 3, huh? To make 16 and B, good. Now, last tricky fact. What do you do with that?
Put it on the outside. Take this in the box. Outside B. It's take.
What does it say?
Everything that's not in B.
Everything that's not in B. Well, here's B. What's everything not in B? This and this. Aren't those both not B territories? So this has got to be 20. So there's 20 and 6, 26, not in B, huh? Make sense on that? Now you can answer all their questions, piece of cake. Once you get the whole picture on the Venn diagram, you know, the questions are pretty easy. Well, I assume so. Let me maybe they're not. Being Venn diagram professionals. All right, let's try that one. So go ahead and fill in the Venn diagram sections there. And this one's more tricky. Yeah, I would start with that overlap. Always go right to that middle. That's the best thing to start with. Go to that overlap. Do that first and kind of work your way backwards, probably. I'll make it bigger here. So we got A, B. Oh, it says the overlap 17, huh? Definitely start there. How you doing? There's a few of us here. I can wander around and be helpful. Making sense? You could do like B next, right? Because it says B is 36. I would just go to what's easy. Just kind of jump all around. Total in B is 36. So I can find the rest of the B, right? Subtract from 36. Right? So the B, 36 minus 17, was that 19? So, that good so far? So now, I don't know about those not things. Or maybe, okay, it says number not in A is 30. How many regions, how many what we call basic regions, like little sections, are not, here's A.
17.
Tell me what's not in A. This and this. Remember, the whole outside's one section, right? You agree with what I just said there? the not A is the 19 and whatever else, right? So it must be 11, huh? Because it's 30 minus 19 is 11. It must be 11. That makes sense how I did that with the not A outside of A, those two sections outside of the A circle must add to be 30, this says. Lastly is that one. Now that's a weird one. That's a really weird one. What is that? It's not A united with not B. All right. You know what might be helpful is to go over here and just all by itself, not A, not B. Let's just figure out what it even is. If this is A and this is B. Okay, you ready? What's not A, first off? Well, okay, it'd be all of this. Isn't that all not A territory? Everything outside of A, right? Okay, and now let's do the not B. So I'm going to do everything not in circle B. I don't care about circle A, I'm just skipping circle B. So this is not B. Right? So I did not A, then I did not B, and what am I supposed to do? Unite them. Unite them. Remember we did the Venn diagrams Tuesday? What does unite mean?
This part where they all connect, overlap.
No, that's overlap. Right? There's two symbols. There's unite or overlap. So where they overlap is overlap.
Where they all unite.
Wait, are you with me on that?
Yeah.
Then that makes sense, right? So the overlap, if we had it the other way, the overlap, just keep that one really straight, and I think unite will fall out naturally.
Okay.
Right? Where they overlap, it's got to be where they overlap, right? It's got to be where they cross. So if it's not that one, if it's unite, that just means every shading, any shading anywhere, right? Unite all shading. So, well, everything has shading except for the middle. It's everything but the middle. Do you see that? It's everything but the middle, isn't it? Everything but the middle has some kind of shading, the uniting of all shading, right? Like the United Nations, right? The nations get together and work together. The united shading, all the shading together. Everything but the middle. So therefore, when they say this, they're saying the 44, that's everything except the middle. They're saying, call this X. They're saying X plus 19 plus 11 is 44. Do you see that? Everything but the middle adds up to be 44. So I just stuck an X over there. X plus 19 plus 11, not the 17 in the middle, skip him, right? Everything but the middle, right? Must add up to be 44. So that's X plus 30 is 44, subtract, what's that, 14? This must be 14. That's what they're telling me. Is that good? So now we can answer all their questions, I'm sure, easily enough. Questions on that last step? That all good? That was a tricky one there at the end, huh? All right, well, look back at the YouTube. Think about, they got the whole alphabet on this one, I think. Look at that thing. All righty. Here we go. All right, I'm going to draw it big here so we can see it. A, B, and C, right? So A, B, C. A, B, C. Okay, so let's go through the facts and put in the numbers we can put in. Here we go. A, it's that first fact. A overlap B, overlap C. That's the very middle, isn't it? It's the overlap of all three circles. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's work our way backwards. Now remember this. If they give you two letters, well, if they give you three letters, that will mean one region. one what we call basic region. If they give 2 letters, that'll mean 2 regions. I think it'll be really helpful if you remember that. If they tell you 3 letters in some kind of a statement, that's what they did here, right? They said A, overlap B, overlap C. 3 letters. So I knew right away that 3 was going to go in only one section, not 2 sections. Just one. Does that make sense? Actually, 3 letters, I should say overlap, or 2 letters. It's only for overlap that this is true. But that's what they're giving me, is a bunch of overlap. So 3 letters overlapped, 1 region. 2 letters overlapped will give you 2 regions. That's what we're getting in this next fact. See this right here? That's C overlap not B. Can you all see that okay? Let me erase that one up here. C overlap not B. So we're saying, well, it's 18. And remember, we're thinking that 18 has got to be the total of 2 sections. It's not 1 section. Because of what I just told you right here. 2 letters overlapped is always going to be 2 regions. So what 2 regions is this talking about? C, so circle C in common with not B. Do you see them? Here's circle C. Where is circle C go into not B territory? Here and here. Do you see those 2? See how those 2 are in circle C. There's only 4 sections in circle C. And these 2 are already in B. The other 2 are out of B. They said, where's the C and not B? So those 2 must be 18. Well, that doesn't help me. I don't know either one. I'll have to come back to that. They total 18, but I don't know either one, so I'm going to move on. How about this one? Here's 3 facts. So that 9's got to go in just 1 section. Because whenever you do 3 facts overlapped, it's telling you about 1 specific basic region. What basic region is it? Outside, huh? 9 outside, because it's not A, not B, not C. That's the outside. Good to there? How about this one? A overlap B. A overlap B. Doesn't A overlap B mean these 2 sections? And they tell me it's a total of 4. So this is a 1. 3 and 1 makes 4. We good there? Now we're rolling. How about the next one? A overlap C is 10. Here, that's this and this together. Aren't those 2 in the overlap of... Oh, no, I blew it. It's these 2. I'm off a little. It's these 2, isn't it? Those 2 are in the overlap of A and C, and they total 10. So, I'll clean this up here. It's got to be 7 and 3. We good? Totaling 10. This is a big 1 here. Good. Next, B overlap C. That's these 2, isn't it? B overlap C is those 2, and that totals 11. Right? You with me? Am I losing you? It's 11. So this is 8 and 3 to make 11 in the B overlap C. And then A overlap C. Oh, is that not C? I can't see. I thought we already did A overlap C. A overlap not C. Thank you. A overlap not C. A in where is A? What sections? Got to be 2 sections, right? Because it's only 2 letters, 2 sections. Where are the 2 sections that are A and they're not C? This is A and not C, and this is A and not C. Both those 2 dots are in regions that are in A and they're not in C, right? And those 2 must total 19. So one of them's 1. What's the other one? 18. See how I'm piecing this together? It's like a puzzle. Lastly, I can't even read it. What is that last one? B, overlap not A. Where is B? There should be two sections, two letters overlap, two sections. See if you can find it. You want the B in the not A territory. It's B outside of circle A, though. Those two, huh? Those are both B outside of circle A, aren't they? So they must total 22. B outside circle A, 22. So what is 22 minus 8? Well, 14? 14 on that. 14, we good there? Good. Now, I skipped one fact, way back, like the second one, didn't I? 'Cause I couldn't do it at the time. Back here, that second one, I think I skipped this one. C overlap not B. Where is C not B? It's this and this. Isn't it those two? Those two are in C, but they're not in B. And they total, was it 18? So 18 minus 7, so this was the 11 here. 11. So it's a 7 and 11. 18 in the C overlap not B. Woo! We got it. Now we can answer their questions with the greatest of ease. Probably. Right? They're saying, okay, type the numbers. Oh, yeah, they're just going to ask you. See over here it says W. W is the very middle. You just go, oh, the very middle, that's 3. What do they want here? I can't even read it. What is that? R. They want R. Where's R? Oh, R's the outside. That's 9. And on you go. They're just going to ask you for specific letters for the sections over there. We got everything. We got it. You okay with that? So this is the kind of thing, to master this kind of thing, you got to try it on your own later. You got the YouTube in case you get stuck, you know. Just go back, try it on your own, piece it together, keep working. I don't think you'll think it's really hard. I just think it's kind of strange. I do too. It's a little bit strange. They're just kind of getting you used to the whole probability way of talking. So, all right, so this first question, it's basically saying, write a sample. What is sample space? That's just it's just a list of every possible outcome. That's all a sample space is, like everything that can happen. Like if you flip a coin, heads, comma, tails. Those are the things that can happen. You roll a die, a regular die, a 6-sided die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are just the different things that can happen. You take a class, A, B, C, D, E, F, or withdrawal, I guess, you know. Right? Those are the different things that can happen. You know what I mean? It's just the things that can happen, right? That's the sample space. All right. So getting down to it, a month of the year is chosen. So that's it. Which one of those lists all the months? Isn't it E? That's it. Dumb question, huh? It's just listing the months. You pick a month around them. What could happen? One of the months. I mean, that's like dumb. Okay. It says, enter the outcomes. Okay, basically, you're going to flip 3 coins and you want at least 2 tails. So you're going to flip 3 coins and you want at least 2 tails. What could happen? That's pretty small print. Let me show you. You could get the first 2 tails and then a head. Right? Or you could get the head in the middle. Or you could get the head first. Right? If you're getting 2 tails and a head, we're not quite done, but that's almost everything. If you're getting 2 tails and a head, you could get the 2 tails first and the head last, or the head middle, or the head front, right? Or they said at least 2 tails. What does at least mean? If I say I got at least 2 coins in my pocket. At least 2 coins in my pocket. At least 5 of you are going to get an A in this class. What does that mean? 5 or less or 5 or more? At least 5 of you are going to get an A. 5 or more. Huh? At least means at the least. Could be more, right? At the least. So there's at the least, at the lowest, 2 tails, could be more, right? They said at least 2 tails. You could get all 3 tails. That's the other one. You can put those in any order. They don't care. They just want you to list them with commas. There's the answer. That makes sense? So just listing out what could happen. See, I flipped a coin. I flipped the coin 3 times. I got at least 2 tails. Well, then those are one of the things that happen right there. If you got at least 2 tails. All right, decide whether the events are disjoint. What is disjoint? Disjoint means, if things are disjoint, it means they cannot both happen. They cannot both happen at the same time. They cannot both happen at the same time. They're disjointed. So, is that true about being lazy and being employed? No, I'm saying. In other words, you say it's impossible to both be employed and be lazy. No. I've encountered many people that are that, right? They all work for the city and the state. No, I'm just kidding. That's a cheap shot. It's not true. That's too much of a generalization. But there is some truth, of course. All right. So anyway, all right. So there we go. So no, that you can be lazy and employed. Maybe you won't be employed for long. I don't know, but. So all these disjoint questions. So being a screenwriter and being male. So you want to ask yourself, what are they disjoint? Can they not both happen? That's what they're, when it's disjoint. If they are disjoint, you're saying they can't both happen. In no way you can be a screenwriter and be male. Well, no, you could. You could. So again, no, these are not disjoint either. Right? Well, you might wonder, well, then what is disjoint? Being employed and being unemployed. Can't be both those, right? So being rich, being poor, I don't know. It's pretty obvious, I think. Things that can't both happen. Makes sense? All right. This is going to be the lucky guessing student. Yeah, suppose a student shows up at a test. I'll cut through the words for you. Basically, a student shows up at a test, has no idea, starts guessing, right? At 3 questions, it's a 3-question quiz. They just guess away. What are the different things that can happen? Correct or wrong? C, correct, W, wrong. They could be, here's the correct answer. It could be all 3 right, correct. Or only the last one's wrong, the middle one's wrong, the front one's wrong. Or, I'm just going through the various possibilities. This is you could have all 3 right, only the last one wrong, the middle one wrong, the front one wrong. Or there could be 2 wrong. Only the front one's right, the middle one's right, or the back one's right, or they're all wrong. Those are the different things that can happen. And maybe if it's just like true, false, 50-50 chance, what's the chance you're going to get all 3 right if guessing on a 50-50 test? How many are there? 4, 5, 6, 1/8, huh? There's a 1 out of 8 chance if there was 50-50, if it was like true, false, and you were completely guessing. 1 out of 8 would be all 3 correct. There's a 1/8 chance you'd get 100% by pure random guessing. I remember, I don't know if you've ever had any of those real sarcastic teachers. I'm tempted by sarcasm at times. But when I was at Cal Poly, philosophy teacher, I remember he, first exam, he passed back the exam. And it was multiple choices, like, 20 questions, and it was A, B, A through E options, and, so he said the high score was whatever, and the low score, now if you're totally guessing A through E, you should get 1 out of every 5 right. Just by pure guess, if you know nothing at all, right? Because it's A through E. 1 out of every 5 you should just get by random luck, right? So if there's 20 questions, you should get 1/5 of them right. 1/5 is 20%, right? It doesn't matter how you be 100 questions, whatever. It doesn't matter. 1 out of every 5, 20% you should get right. He's like, I remember him saying the low score, it was like 18% or something. And he's like, 18%? He's like, what is that? He said I still remember his line. A chip with dice could beat that. What's happening there? I was glad I wasn't the 18%. Anyway, so sometimes you can get lucky, sometimes not. All right. Next question. Which set shows the event? The student gets exactly 2 correct. Exactly 2 correct. Well, it's right here. See, you can get the first 2 right, the first and third, or the last 2. Huh? I'm just listing out the things they're talking about. The student gets only only the last wrong. So that'd be that, huh? Only the last wrong. Makes sense? We're just listing those things they're talking about. All right. Like reading it all real carefully. I was eating my sandwich. Took a quick guess. All right, yeah. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. A bunch of talking up there. Let me just cut through it for you. Basically, it says, look, you're going to get an apple, but you're buying an apple. Oregon apple, Michigan apple, Washington apple, or imported. And you're going to choose large, extra large, or unsized. So you're going to buy an apple from one of those places, and then the different sizes, large, extra large, or unsized. For this experiment, write out the sample. So anyway, basically, if you look at C, C's the right answer because it just lists every possible thing that could happen. That's all that is. You know, it's just Oregon, Michigan, Washington, imported. You know, the 4 options there, each with the 3: large, extra large, unsized. Large, extra large, unsized. Large, extra large, unsized. Large, extra large, unsized. You know, it's just the 3. That's all of it. If you list through this whole list, see, Oregon large, Oregon extra large, Oregon unsized. Right? Washington large, Washington extra large, Washington unsized. Then imported large, imported extra large, imported unsized. Hey, did we skip Michigan? Oh, Michigan's up here. Michigan large, Michigan extra. That's why I guessed wrong, because I didn't see it up there when I was eating my sandwich. Yeah, there it is. It's all there. So that's all. There's nothing else to that. Okay, what's the second part now? Give the probability that the apples selected are imported and unsized. Imported and unsized.
1/12.
Yeah, exactly. Is it 12? Yeah, 1/12. It's just 1/12. Everybody see that? Because it's just one of the 12 different things, right? Because there's 3 things here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. Add that up. There's 12 different things that can happen if it was like all totally random. And you want, what was it again? Imported, unsized. You want that one result of the 12 different results that are up there. Yeah, the probability would be 1/12 if everything was equally likely. And they said that somewhere. They said equally likely somewhere. I don't see it now. Does that make sense on that? There's just 12 different things. If you look at this list on part C, there's 12 different results. One of them is imported and unsized. 1/12. All right. Okay, so here we have this. So you have a 12-sided die. Normally we think of a 6-sided die, but they do make special dice. 12-sided dice. And you're rolling it. What's the chance you're going to get a 9? 1/12. Yeah, it's just 1/12. It's just one result out of the different 12. That good? Probability is always, out of total, isn't it? 12 total things that can happen. One of them is what you're looking for. So what do you think? So if you're going to roll a single die, so they mean like 6-sided. So you have 1, 2, just normal die just has the 6 sides, right? Like for Monopoly or whatever. And what's the probability of getting a number greater than 2? Well, here's all the numbers greater than 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you're going to roll the die random, you really want a number greater than 2, so you make it past boardwalk or whatever. What's the chance? 4 out of 6, huh? 4. It's the number of things that you want out of the total, huh? 4 out of 6. And you reduce it like any fraction. It's supposed to be a 2 there. 2/3. Does that make sense? 2/3 chance that you'll get a number greater than 2. Okay? So 12-sided die, probably any number except 2. You just want anything. 2 will land you on boardwalk or whatever. You just don't want to get 2. What's the chance? 11 out of 12, right? Because there's anything other than the 2. 11 results. So it's the number of results that are for you, that you like, over the total. That's how we always do probability, huh? The number in favor, they say it in favor or for you, that you want, out of the total. 11 out of 12. 11 12's chance. Yeah.
I had more than my parents before.
Yeah, you got more than your parents? Did you ever go deep sea fishing?
No, that's my sister's thing and my dad's thing. No. They can come back sick, I'll just cook the fish.
I think it'd be fun to catch some big one. All right, so basically here's what they've been catching. What's the probability the next one's a shark? So assuming that it's just like that, here's the numbers. We'd have to add up the total, huh? What is that?
63.
Thank you. 63. 50, 63, yeah. 63. Oh, yeah. I should look up there. I thought, wow, you're a fast adder, man. All right, and what's the probability of the shark? So it's just the shark number out of 63. Yeah, it's just the number that you want over the total. That's a 15 there. Yep. Oh, we could reduce that, huh? I think that's divisible by 3. 5, 21. You going fishing over the break?
Yes.
All right. Nice. There it is. Catch a shark. That must be kind of fun. All right. Probably the person's total. Okay, so basically, this is credit card charges. Credit card charges. Okay. Here they are under 100 and da-da-da. So this is all the different people, the credit card charges. So what is the probability that a person's total charges are between $3,000 and $49.99? $3,000 and $49.99. That's just the 0.06 directly. I didn't do anything fancy there. 0.06. All right, next part. What is the probability that a person's total charges are less than 3? Yeah, exactly. Less than 3 would be all of these added up because they're all 29999 or less. I think I did one too many nines there, but anyway, they're all less than 3, right? So you need to add up 0.33, 0.19, 0.13, 0.12, and 0.07. And that, I guess, comes out 0.84. 84% chance that somebody's got 5,000 or less than 3,000 on their credit card. All right, what is the probability that a person's total charges are over $499? It's those two together, huh? 0.09 plus 0.01, 0.10. Good on that? Just looking at the table and grabbing the numbers we need. All right. Okay, so sample space, yeah. Basically, what would you think, guys, if I told you, hey, tomorrow there's a 70% chance of rain, and there's a 40% chance it won't rain? You would think I'm having a little math problem, huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong with saying it like that?
Because
There's only 100%. They have to add up to 100%, right? Mm-hmm. Right? You agree with me? It's either going to rain or it's not going to rain. You say, yeah, but it might be foggy. Well, that's not rain then. I mean, that's still one of the two, right? Whenever you do something and not something, that's everything, right? So that has to be 100%. So my point in that is sample space. Whenever we list a sample space, like all the things, all that can happen, that's what sample space means, right? All that can happen. The total must equal 100%. Which in decimals is 1.00 decimal, right? The decimal and the percentage, those are the same thing. We good to there? So basically when they're asking us, they're saying, hey, check these out. See if these add up to 1.0. I think they do. I think that's why the answer is yes. So you got to basically add them up. 0.22, 0.20, 0.06, 0.21, 0.31, add them up. Is it? 69, I think it is. 1.00. So that one's, it is possible. You could have a sample space like that. You couldn't have what I wrote, but you could have that. Is that good? Making sense? Okay, so just check that. All right, so same thing, you got to add up those fractions. 1/4, 1/5. You guys have a calculator that will just do it automatically? That'll be very nice. You have like the Casio Natural Display or something like that? Something that does fractions? Or the TIs. Yeah, just add them up. Does it equal 1? I don't know. I don't want to get common numbers and all that. I would just make them all decimals. Just add them up. Fractions. Do whatever you need to do just to see if they add up to be 1. I'll just move along. Just if you have trouble with that, grab me. Section, we're moving well. All right, so now this one. is that one possible? I'm not even gonna bother to add them. Look at this guy right there. What if I said the chance of rain tomorrow is negative 10%? I'm not even sure. If the weatherman said that, he would be fired, right? So you can't, there's no such thing as a negative probability, right? I mean, it's really not gonna happen. It's negative. So you can't do that. I'm so sure. No, you can't have a negative probability.
Negative, so that makes it really.
Really unlikely. Yes. So, all right, so that's what they're just making sure you know that, hey, you got to add it to 1.0, you can't be negative, right? Those are pretty clear.
And it's the Thursday, or Tuesday we come back, and then it's the next Thursday, it's that Thursday of the same week.
Ooh, is it really? Wow, we might need to push that back. Yeah, it'll probably be Tuesday the 25th. It'll probably be the second week after we come back on that. Yeah, in fact, I haven't made a note on my own thing. Exam 3's been moved to the 25th. Yeah.
For sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it'll be moved to the 25th. Yeah, exam 3 will be the 25th. Be not the week we come back, but the week after. On Tuesday the 25th of April will be exam number 3. Yeah.
Is the final going to be cumulative? I think I messed that up.
Yeah, final has everything on it.
Okay.
Final has everything. Yeah,
Give
and
us a study guide.
I'll say go back and look at your old exams. I'll put the keys up online is what I'll do. I'll put the answers to the first 3 exams. I'll say just study over those. You got the answers. And then I'll review in here, hopefully at least one day, maybe a day and a half, going over those old tests, especially 1 and 2, because you will have just had 3. I'll especially go over 1 and 2, you know, and then you get a full sheet of paper for the final. Not just 3x5 card, full sheet of paper. Put anything you want. Having said all that, it's still hard. It's hard to remember the stuff from a whole year. You know, I mean, for a whole semester. 18 weeks. We have long semesters. What's that? Yeah, you can do that. Put them on there. You get a full sheet. Yeah, it's just one side even. All right, so this section's kind of fun. We'll just start it. A lot of different gambling probabilities and stuff. I always like this. I think it's kind of fun and interesting. So, playing American Roulette, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so when you do roulette, the way it works is there's 1 through 36 numbers, and then there's a green 0 and a green 00. So there's 1 through 36 numbers that are even and odd, and half are red, half are black of the 36. So there's 38 total spots, you know, on a roulette table. There's 38 total spots. 36 of them are numbers, and then the green 0 and the green 00. Okay, so the probability of the marble landing on 00 or an odd slot. So if you're doing the thing, what's the chance it's going to land on 00 or odd? Well, how many odd numbers are there? 1 through 36, half the numbers are odd, right? Right? 1, 3, 5, 7, you know. Half the numbers are odd, half the numbers are even, right? So 36 divided by 2 is 18 odd numbers. With me so far? I'm just saying in the numbers 1 through 36, half of those numbers are even, half of those are odd. So divide by 2, 18 odd numbers, and then they also said the 00 or odd. So the 00 would add one more. That's 19 possible. I'm not quite done yet, but does that make sense so far? Right? They're saying you really want to get an odd number or the 00 thing. Well, there's 18 odd numbers. There's 1 00 slot. That's 19 slots out of, we're doing probability, right? What's the total on the bottom? 38 total things. So it's 36 numbers, and then the green 0, green 00. That reduces to be a half. Probability would be a half for that. Is that good? That makes sense? Okay. Okay, so they say, all right, the example of a dozen bet would be this. There must be 12. I didn't even count, but I assume that means 12, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? There's 12 of them. What's the probability of getting that? Well, it's 12 out of still 38, right? There's still 38 different slots on a roulette table. So whatever that reduces to be, just divide by 2, I guess. So that's 6 19ths. There we go. So the chance you're going to win if you're betting on these 12 numbers is 6 out of 19. 6 out of 19. Is that good? Okay, so I'm going to lay out a whole chart here. And if I can. All right, and this is going to be 1, then 1, 1, then 2, 1, then 3, 1, then 4, 1, then 5, 1, then 6, 2, then 1, 2, then 2, 2, then 3, 2, then 4, 2. It'd be good. I'd encourage you to put this on your 3x5 card for the next test. I'll remind you as we get closer. But this is going to basically show everything that can happen when we roll 2 dice. Or 1 die twice, same thing. All right, so there's all the different things that can happen when we roll 2 dice, or 1 die twice, same thing. So, which of those have sum of 7? Look right there. Sum of 7. It's down the main diagonal. It's the most likely sum. Do you know that?
I think I'm ready for the casino.
You ready? By the time I'm done with this section after the break, I hope you'll understand that you never want to think you're going to win at the casino. You can go and have fun, but know you'll lose money. Absolutely. The math, there's no coincidence that they're winning.
You get lower odds at 7 anyway.
I think it's very interesting. I have a whole bunch of numbers. My family kids me. I have a double down betting scheme, which I know technically doesn't work, but it looks like it works at first. Like if I presented it to you, I bet I could make you think that it works. But it's a tricky math thing. And anyway, I love the. I grew up with my family. We played blackjack all the time, and so I love all the little. I don't mean in the casino, but in the home. You know, I think it's very. I love the math behind it all. I think it's very interesting. But if you really understand the math, you know, they're gonna win. They're gonna win in the long run. Yeah.
Craps is where it's at.
Craps is the closest to 50-50 unless you can count cards, and blackjack can be, but who can count a 6-shoe deck?
Craps is for sure.
6-deck shoe.
Craps is for sure the most fun.
Is it? All right, so sum of 7, 7 or 11 is the,
Crap out.
yeah, that's right, they make 7, one of them up. The most likely sum is 7, because there are 6 results, notice. So the probability, now careful, that's not their question, it's odds, and I'll get to that in a minute. Remember what probability is. It's the number 4 over the total, right, would be 6 over 36. And we could reduce that fraction, but let's just leave it like that for the moment. Where am I getting 36? How many total boxes are there? It's a 6 by 6 array. It's a 6 by 6 array. There's 36 different things that can happen when you roll 2 dice. Huh? And among those 36 different results, 6 of them total 7, right? Those 6 results down the diagonal. Now, so let's reduce it. That reduces to be 1/6. So the chance, if you're going to roll 2 dice, the chance you're going to get a sum of 7 is 1/6. 1 out of every 6 times, on average, that you roll 2 dice, your sum is going to be 7, the most likely sum. Now, what about sum of 8? Next diagonal. 1 less. There's 5 out of 36. See how he's a little bit smaller diagonal. So that's what I'm saying. 7 is the most likely sum. 1 below it, sum of 6, and sum of 8, both have just 1 less likelihood. They're both 5 out of 36 instead of 6 out of 30. They're just a little bit less likely. Then go on up the line. Sum of 9, that's only 4 out of 36. Just like going 2. See, 7 is the center, sum of 7. Go 2 above it, 9, 2 below it, 5. You're getting a 4 out of 36 likelihood, less likely, 1/9. Go a little bit higher. Sum of 10, 3 out of 36, or sum of 4, same thing. 3 out of 36. See, the center is the 7. Go 3 above it, 10, or 3 below it, 4. You've gone down 3, from 6 out of 36 down to 3 out of 36. Keep going. Sum of 11 and sum of 3 are not very likely. Only 2 out of 36, which is 1/18. And then, double sixes, what's that called? Boxcars. And sum of 2, called snake eyes. Very unlikely, 1 out of 36. So there's all the sums are on the diagonal. So just know that. You know what's most likely sum when you roll 2 dice, right? You ever played Settlers of Catan? We play that in our family sometimes. They do the property zones that are more desirable based on the sum of the dice. They've mapped that out. They have the sum of 7 is the most desirable result, then the 6 and the 8. They're basically doing these probabilities. So that's what they're doing. All right, so let's take a look. What are the odds of rolling a sum of 7? Well, the probability, this is the last thing, we're running out of time, so probability is 1/6. Seems like we've done a lot of work, aren't we done? There's one more thing. That's not odds. It's close. Odds is not quite the same as probability. Why not? What is odds? Odds is for against instead of for total. What am I talking about? Well, if the probability is 1 out of 6, well, I don't need to write that again. It's already written here for me. The probability is 1 out of 6. What if I tell you, hey, remember the bond in probability, 1/6. The probability of rolling a total of 7 is 1/6. A sum of 7 is 1/6. That means every 6 times, on average, 1 time you'll get it, right? 1 out of 6. Now, 6 is the total. 1 is the 4. If I said, hey, we're here in a room, we got 6 people total, and 1 is for the issue. How many are against it? 5. See, now when you do odds, think about like a debate, for and against, for and against. If there's 1 for it, the top is the same. The top of odds, the top of probability, identical. They're both 4. The difference is the bottom. The bottom of odds, instead of being total, is how many are against the result. You're doing for and against instead of for total. So if there's 6 total and 1 is 4, how many are against? 5. The odds are 1 to 5. 1 to 5. And you usually write it sideways. You go 1 to 5 like that. It's the same thing as 1/6 probability. It's just a different language, a different way of saying the same truth.
So if it was 112, then it would be 1 to 11.
It would be. That's right. Yeah, and we'll do much more of that as the section continues. They'll go back and forth between odds and probability, just like that. All right, well, we'll stop there. We got partway through A4. And you guys are done with our class.